Hey everybody, this is Pastor Chris. I'm coming to you live from Lexington Park Baptist Church. This is August the 11th, 2025. How in the world are you doing? I hope you are blessed and highly favored by God. Good to be with you here on the program today. We're on Spotify podcast under Word of Encouragement. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and we are on Twitch underneath either Pastor Chris McCombs or Lexington Park Baptist Church. Welcome to the program. We are going to go off track. We're not a special edition this week. I didn't preach this past Sunday, so I'm going to do a special series on the God who goes with us. The God who goes with us this week. And it's based off Exodus 33. And I want to read Exodus 33, 12 through 17. And Moses said to the Lord, Lord, you have told me, lead this people up, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. You said, I know you by name, and you have also found favor with me. Now, if I have indeed found favor with you, please teach me your ways, and I will know you so that I may find favor with you. Now consider that this nation is your people. Verse 14, and he replied, my presence will go with you, and I will give you rest. If your presence does not go, Moses responded to him, don't make us go up from here. How will it be known that I and your people have been found favor with you unless you go with us? I am your people will be distinguished by this from all other people that on the face of the earth is his presence. And the Lord answered Moses and said, I will do this very thing that you have asked, for you have found favor with me, and I know you by name. May God add a blessing to his holy word. Listen, in this text, imagine all that Moses has gone through. Imagine all that the people of God have gone through. So they have finally gotten free of the bondage of slavery. And, you know, if you know the history, they had to travel 40 years in the wilderness before they get to the promised land. So this is before that. So they're on their way to the promised land. They're on their way to this thing that God has promised. And I've entitled this teaching this week called The God Who Goes With Us, because I think there's some great lessons for each and every one of us. And that God does go with us. And if you opening up to this section is this conversation between the Lord and Moses. And Moses says to the Lord, look, You have told me, lead this people up. Well, he did. But go all the way back to the burning bush. Go all the way back to the purpose in Exodus 2, when 1 and 2, when Moses is born and how that comes to pass, and he get to the burning bush several chapters later, and this experience that Moses has of 40 years of development, has a wife, Zipporah, is with Jethro, his father-in-law, and God's developing, and he comes back and he says, listen, God, you've called me to lead these people up. You're taking us to this promised land, but you have not let me know whom you will send with me. Now, what's going on here is Moses is not clear. Is the promise just for him or for the people of God? And Moses is going to persist, this people of God. Now listen, up to this point, the people of God have not been good. People of God have been disobedient. The people of God have, think about it. When Moses goes up to Mount Sinai, what do they end up doing? They end up creating a golden calf and worshiping a false god, saying this is God. And then Moses is up there with God and comes down and he's got the 10 Commandments, the law. I mean, there's so many things happen in the journey of God's people, even after they receive the promised land. But at this point, he's like, I don't even know who you're going up. But he goes, you've said, I know you by name and that I have found favor with you. Now, if I have indeed found favor with you, please teach me your ways, and I will know that so that I may find favor with you. Now consider that this nation is your people. So what is Moses doing here? Moses is setting it up to where God will be with his people. Moses doesn't want to just be the one who has favor. Moses is actually he's thinking of the people of God over himself. This is a good pastoral lesson here. God, I want you to be with my people, not just with me. I don't want you just to bless me. I want you to bless them. I don't want the promise to just be for me. I want the promise to be for them. God, I want to take care of them. God, say I found favor with you, then teach me your ways so that I will know you and I might find even more favor with you so that you may call these people your nation. And I think this is an important lesson. It's not about an individual, it's about a people. And Moses is making sure that God's presence, that God will go with his people. And so as we move forward throughout this whole week, I want you to see that there is a God that goes with us. And I think leadership, the lesson for leadership, at least for me, is that as a leader of God's people, you must always be thinking of God's people because you want God to bless his people. And so we're going to deal with these questions this week. Do we want God's presence or do we want God's promises? Do we want God's presence or do we want God's provisions? Do we want God's presence or we just want his blessings and his favor? Do we want to just know him or do we want to really know him? Do we want to walk with him or do we want the convenience of calling on him? There's so many different parallels that we can play off what we're going to experience this week with the God who goes with us. But I want you to cling to this thing right here because tomorrow we're going to talk about this. Moses refused to go without God. So Moses is setting up this whole discussion with God in this prayer, if you will. It's like, God, I know that you're saying you know me and you found favor with me and you've asked me to lead this people. Then if you've asked me to lead this people, then guess what, God? I want you to acknowledge that this nation is your people. I don't want you just to acknowledge me. I don't want you just to bless me. I want you to say, you've asked me to lead these people. I have. And now I want you to acknowledge this is your nation. This is the people that you want to dwell among and make your presence known to the whole world. That's a powerful moment because I can look back, I think, of us. And here we are thousands of years ahead of this story. And the church has come and Christ, the Messiah, has already come. And we should not want to go anywhere God is not. We should want to find the favor of God. We want to be the people of God. In fact, I think it's Peter who writes that we are his chosen people. We are his priesthood. We become these things with God where the presence of God dwells. So as Christians, we don't want to go anywhere God is not. We want to find a place where God says, listen, we are your people. And God acknowledges that back. And that is what Moses is doing in the opening of this prayer. God, you said, lead my people. Now let's acknowledge that these are your people and that they're the ones that your presence is going to go with. And so as Christians, wherever we go, we need to know that God's presence goes with us. In the church, we want God's presence. And I say this not tongue-in-cheek. Sometimes we can go through the motions and not maybe experience God's presence, but sometimes we can remove God's presence, even though you really can't do that, because wherever we are and God is in us, God is there. But I think there's a manifestation of God's presence, very thick like it was back in the Old Testament. I think you can experience, if a church really is under the Spirit and not doing worldly things and not just doing ritualistic or doctrinal things, but God's presence is really moving. I think you can sense it. There's an authenticity that exists there. I believe there's a sense of, there can be conflict because God's got to weed out the bad and the good and all that kind of stuff. So don't ever think that just because there's peace or no turmoil or no drama in a church, that's not necessarily true. You don't want evil in a church, though. You don't want bad things and divisive, strifeful things. But sometimes those things happen. But there should be a sense of authenticity, of love, grace. Grace should abound, man. Grace is greater than all of our sins, right? There should be grace. There should still be a pursuit of some sense of holiness and righteousness, but not legalistically, but in a pursuit to be more like Christ, because we want more of his presence. So that's kind of where we're going to be going this week. We're going to look at what happens to Moses and apply it to our own lives. So in this opening, just a little foretaste here, right, of the God who goes with us, we're seeing that Moses has found this favor with God, and he's asking because God has found this favor, and you've asked me to lead these people. I'm asking you now, God, consider that this nation is your people too. And may we always do that for one another. God, pray for our church. If you're out there, wherever church you go to, pray for your pastor. Pray for your church. And ask God to make them his people by his presence. Hey, have a great day. Go experience the presence of God. Let it fully manifest in your life and change you and just draw you closer to him. Hey, God bless you. Remember these two realities. God loves you. So do I. I will see you here tomorrow. You take care now.